Well, surprise, surprise, a wealthy Hollywood actor thinks he has some lyrics that are better for Oliver Anthony to sing about in his absolutely incredible song, Men North of Richmond. Unsurprisingly, it is some tone deaf advice, but the thing that pisses me off the most is that it's making me do math. I hate math. Let's run the numbers. Hey folks, Mark here with the Rational Workforce. Thanks so much for tuning in again. I really appreciate you coming here. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're coming back, thank you so much. In either case, I really appreciate you stopping by. Tell me what you think about today's episode in the comments below. And, let's jump into it. So, was scrolling through social media over the weekend, and, there's an actor that I really enjoy his work named Rainn Wilson. Everyone knows Rainn from The Office, most likely, right? That's probably his most prominent role. But he's done a lot of other things. And look, this video is not kind of slamming on him per se, but I just want to put something together that I think shows a little bit of perspective on where everybody's coming from, and kind of your lived experiences influences who you are and what you think. And sometimes that can be a little discordant with advice that you're giving out. So boy, that's a lot of gobbledygook. Why don't we just jump into talking about the situation? So this is Rainn's Twitter account, and he tweeted this over the weekend. If I were writing a song about rich men north of Richmond, I wouldn't talk about obese people on welfare. That is referencing one of the lines in the song. I'd sing about CEOs who make 400 times their average worker's salary, up from 50 times 30 years ago, and corporations that pay zero taxes and offshore tax shelters for billionaires. Like, nothing in here is inherently wrong or offensive. And, it's CEO salaries have gotten pretty incredible. There are some ridiculous loopholes in our tax code that corporations and wealthy individuals alike take advantage of. But, it's this kind of wealthy actor takes a pot shot at someone who is literally a factory worker, has wrestled with everything from depression to anxiety to alcoholism, kind of pouring their heart into this song that is gaining so much traction because it relates to so many people. And it seems a little bit tone deaf. So I am going to, just kind of highlight where I think that's coming from, and maybe a couple different vantage points we can think about. So again, this is Rainn's IMDb page. He is a multi-talented person, actor, producer, director. You go through his filmography, and he's done an incredible amount of work, right? I think he's probably most famous for The Office. So there he is, front and center. Dwight, absolutely hysterical character. And they are owned by NBC Universal. Okay, so the NBC Universal CEO, his pay in 2020 was $16.5 million. Now, granted, what even the actors, someone as successful as Rainn, made, the CEO is making multiples more than what those actors made during any given season, right? So that go up the food chain, right? So NBC Universal is owned by Comcast. The CEO of Comcast made 426 times more in 2022 than the average Philadelphian in 2021. This is from Philadelphia newspaper. And he received a compensation of $32.1 million. All right. So the president of NBC, 16.5. The CEO of Comcast that owns NBC's 32.1. Let's see how the actors did. We scroll through. This is kind of a total net worth. Rainn is worth $14 million as of the time of this printing. I think he's closer to 16. But the salaries of himself and some of his fellow actors ran to about $100,000 per episode towards the later couple of seasons. And the last season had 25 episodes in it, right? So let's run some numbers on multiples. Like if that's his original comment, and he's upset with the multiples that individuals make within an organization, let's see how he's doing, right? So this is just snapshot of, I wanted to see what the average pay for like a cameraman was working on a sitcom. And it turns out cameramen working in the television industry have an average pay of $58,070. Cameramen in film make $75,710. So like, let's just run some numbers. All right, let's take a look. There were 25 episodes in the last season of The Office. And if we go to a calculator, Rain made $100,000 per episode times 25 episodes. That's what, $2.5 million. And if we go back and we look at the average salary of a cameraman, let's round up and we'll say 60 grand. We'll divide that by 60 grand. And Rain made almost 42%, 42 times more than a cameraman working on his show. Now, don't forget, every TV show, look at the credits that scroll at the end of a TV show or a movie. There's camera, there's sound, there's makeup, there's wardrobe, there's craft services, there's any number of individuals who, you know, a good chunk of them probably make less than those cameramen. So if we go back to his original tweet, and he's railing about the injustices of CEOs who make multiple times more than their average rank and file employee, and tax shelters and tax dodges and all that stuff. You know, he's not 300 times more, but, you know, 42 times more than some of the other folks that work on your show is still a pretty damn good multiple. So a little bit tone deaf, a little bit discordant, maybe. I think that certainly trying to tell, again, this songwriter who is just singing from his soul, who's done factory work, there's probably a little bit of a night and day difference between the two. But, you know, I think it's really important to kind of give everyone a fair shake. So if we look at what Rain does for charities, according to this website, he supports 11 charities, 21 different causes. So he is spreading it around a little bit. But if you want to talk about kind of the pinnacle of selflessness on the celebrity scale, you got to look at this guy here, Keanu Reeves. So this is a really long article from the website Celebrity Net Worth. And I want to highlight one specific thing. So for the first Matrix movie, Keanu was paid $10 million up front in salary, and combined with his back-end royalty points, he ultimately earned $35 million. Great payday. It was an iconic film. And then he signed on to do 2 more after that. So when it came time to negotiate his back-end profit-sharing deal for the second and third Matrix films, Keanu was in a position to be offered a lucrative cut of back-end profits. He took a nice chunk, but he also insisted on handing over a significant portion of these profits to the film's special effects and costume design teams. Reeves felt, perhaps rightly so, that the men and women who created the effects and costumes for the franchise were the true heroes of the movie. So how'd that work out? The second and third Matrix movies earned more than $1.2 billion at worldwide box office, then hundreds of millions more from DVD sales and home rentals and other revenue streams. When it was all said and done, Keanu reportedly ended up foregoing an estimated $75 million that by all means could have gone to him, and instead it was spread out to dozens of Matrix crew members. He also gave the entire stunt team on the Matrix sequels custom-made Harley-Davidson motorcycles. So even after all that generosity between all the sequels, Keanu still managed to earn $200 million for his work in the Matrix universe. So everyone ended up happy, but that's not even where Keanu's charity stops. And then it goes in and it talks about the many, many charities that he supports and how front and center he is on not just making financial donations, but being the face of these charities. So again, like, this isn't slamming Rain in any way, but this is just kind of highlighting, you know, when you're making, you yourself are making orders of magnitudes more than, say, the average factory worker. And you come out and say, you know, hey, nice lyrics, but I think you're looking in the wrong direction. Here's something else you should do. Free speech? Absolutely. God bless him. Say what you want to say, do what you want to do, especially online. But don't be surprised when you get backlash, like, you know, some of the comments that were coming in on this tweet from Rain. You know, some were just nasty, but, you know, yeah, I don't think you understand the lyrics. What about overpaid actors? If I were a Hollywood actor worth several millions, I'd shit on a seemingly overnight viral song by an Appalachian ex-factory worker. This seems to be uniting Americans of many colors, cultures, walks of life. You know, slams at his net worth. You're free to write your own anthem, Rain. So again, a lot of this blowback is deserved. And, you can't really get upset with people who feel this song on their soul, people who are working their asses off to string paychecks together to take care of a family. And you hear an actor that, is making nearly 42x what a cameraman would make on the shows that he supports. It just sounds a little out of tune. And with everything that's going on with Rachel Zegler and all of her comments about Snow White and any number of kind of tone-deaf celebrity statements, you kind of understand why people are frustrated about it. But again, just wanted to run some numbers and highlight that, like, sometimes the people that are throwing punches, really need to dose their own medicine sometimes. Anyway, that's today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the bell, click subscribe, give it a thumbs up, do all the things that are helping to keep this channel growing. We're coming up at a pretty good clip. If you didn't like this, let me know in the comments below. What are your takes on what Rain had to say? You think I'm off my rocker for getting a little pissed off about it? Let me know all that too. We really love all your comments and feedbacks, good and bad. With that, we're going to sign off. I hope you have an amazing day, and we'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.